AMY MADDEN, Hotel Ruin, y la primera parte de este hermoso programa del día de la fecha. En esta parte que hemos denominado ¿Es esto o la fábrica? Ya que sale con la voz toda rota. Una sección en donde lo que hacemos es pensar, repensar, reanalizar todo lo que rodea a esta industria de la música que tanto nos gusta. A veces la puteamos, a veces nos enemistamos, pero estamos siempre ahí dando vueltas, buscando la novedad, buscando lo nuevo. En una actividad que hace un par de décadas, nada más, un puñadito de años, pensando en toda nuestra historia, necesitabas de barcos, de containers, de cosas que muevan cosas para que te llegue a vos, que estás en la Loma del Orto, un disco que fue grabado en otra Loma del Orto. Para hablar de todos estos cambios, de todas estas vueltas para adelante, para atrás, para el medio, es que nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos. Hemos hablado.
Hey, my camera my home camera doesn't work. Can you see me? No.
Excellent, Amy, excellent.
I'm sorry. I was going to be somewhere else where I have it, but my computer is so old here. It's broken. My son, I think, broke it years ago. But I'm sorry. Anyway, I see you.
Excellent. And do you hear me well?
I hear you fine. You hear me?
Excellent. I hear you very fine. I'm telling to the listener, we are going to talk with you, Amy. We are live in this exact moment. We are very glad to talk with you.
Okay, great.
This is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna leave you with my friend Raulo. Raulo is gonna make you the same question we make all band and all the artists like you from all the world we interview, and later we're gonna talk about the present of the AMY MADDEN project, you know?
Yeah.
Excelente. Bueno, Raulo, ya hemos saludado a May, nos ha pedido disculpas por la cámara. Avisale que solo salimos por sonido, igual por internet, que no se preocupe, y arrancamos.
Sí, Amy, there is no problem. We only stream, we only broadcast audio, so it's okay. No problem with that.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Sí, no, thanks for your time. I'm really happy to meet you because I like your kind of music. Then we are going to talk about that, and we are going to start
Thank
with.
You so much.
Sí, we are going to start with the interview.
Ojo con preguntarle los años.
Sí, ya está todo. And we are going to start with the interview. We are live, so please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
No seas malo, Raúl.
How old am I?
As you like.
No.
You want to know? I'm happy to tell you.
Yes, of course.
Some people don't want to. I'm 72 years old.
Really?
People can't believe it, but I am. I mean, they do. You know, listen, I'm still rocking and rolling and doing all that. But yeah, I've been around a long time. I was born in the 50s, for sure. I saw Jimi Hendrix, all that, you know.
We are going to talk a lot with you. See, and can you tell us, we are going to make the same questions that we make all the people around the world first, and then we can talk about whatever you want. But can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
Of listening to music?
Uh-huh.
Probably classical music in my parents' home. And records, old records. I loved looking through records. I've always loved music. I wrote music in nursery school. I was 3 years old. I wrote songs. I just hear it.
Wow. Sorry, can you tell us where are you from?
I'm from New York. I was born here,
perfect.
New York City.
Perfect. Listo. Now for the Spanish listeners, and I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. Estamos hablando con AMY MADDEN. Tiene 72 años, increíble, tiene una voz increíble. Es de Nueva York y nos estaba contando su primer recuerdo escuchando música. Fue más que nada música clásica en la casa de sus padres, ahí en Nueva York. Sorry for that. Amy, you can continue.
No, it's okay.
Uh-huh. And can you tell us which was your first instrument and which was the first song that you learned?
The very first song I learned, it was probably Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I had a little recorder, a plastic instrument. But my parents had a piano, so, you know, you plink around on the piano, and I had a little toy piano. Was always playing, but I taught myself to play this instrument, and then my mother got me a flute. I played classical flute when I was growing up, seriously.
Wow.
With a scholarship to music, you know.
Wow.
Very serious, but I hated it.
But it's really complex.
Yeah, a little bit. Too complex for Spanish radio. So flute. I would say. But my mother had a guitar, and I learned to play and sing by myself.
Beautiful. Bueno, nos estaba contando que su primer canción que se acuerda es Twinkle, 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 sorry my accent, Little Star. O sea que es una canción para niños. En el piano, la familia tenía un piano y ella también tenía un piano de juguete. Aparte, la madre le enseñó a tocar un poco la guitarra y como instrumento principal ella tocaba la flauta. Llegó a un nivel súper alto en el colegio con la flauta. And can you tell us, are there any places to study music for free in your region, or you always have to pay?
In school, when I was in school, I studied flute, but basically, like bass, because I've been a bassist most of my adult life, I'm completely self-taught.
Oh, wow.
I could not improvise a note on the flute. I could only read music very well and played in an orchestra. But the bass, I pick it up and I can play. I love it. I love it. Bass.
How
¿Nos
did
podría
you...
nombrar
Sí.
una pieza para flauta compleja que recuerde?
Manu wants to know if you remember a really complex piece of a flute.
Yes, the Debussy, the Sphinx, very difficult, you know.
Wow.
I played those, yeah. I have, yeah.
Beautiful. Sí.
Muy bueno,
and you always have to pay in New York to study music, or you can take free lessons?
You basically, unless you get a scholarship, the schools are terrible now. They no longer teach you. But when I was growing up, yes, we had music. We had orchestra. We had band. Marching band, jazz band. Oh, it was much better. I never paid to take music lessons.
Beautiful what you are saying. And why do you think that the education is turning down?
Very bad now. Public education here, it's terrible.
So, why you think that?
Funding, New York City, you know, it's all of America. Where like our priorities are terrible. This is why when I went to Sweden, and I was touring there with Claes Engström, who's a famous Swedish like rock guitar player. We went to a music school, and I was so impressed with the kids, and they're not paying, but the music education was wonderful. Most other countries still have music. I mean, even I lived in Mexico briefly. Everybody has a guitar there. Everyone's playing, a cheap guitar, but they're playing. Here, it's changed. Plus, the music scene in the city is about hip-hop. Everybody wants to be a rapper or hip-hop. There's not as much playing of instruments. And there's not as much traditional music education. Then again, on the other side, there is tons of classical, Juilliard and these fancy schools where kids sometimes get scholarship, and there's music academics there, but not for the regular average kids in New York. And all of the, New York is filled with immigrants that are getting terrible education now. They're not getting enough. It's really sad.
It's beautiful what you're saying. I completely agree with that. We have more or less the same problem in Europe. I'm living now in Catalonia, and the same in Argentina. I think it's beautiful what you're saying. Manu, cerró todo el círculo de lo que venimos hablando hace un montón de tiempo, porque bueno, lo que ella nos contaba, que la educación cuando ella era grande, ella nació en los 50, tiene 72 años, era de un nivel súper alto. Estamos hablando de la educación pública, acaba de hacer un argumento sobre eso, y la educación pública en Nueva York fue siempre para abajo, fue descendiendo. Ella lo que nos dice, que me parece muy importante también lo que dice, las prioridades en la educación cambiaron completamente. Creo que eso es a nivel global también. Una de las cosas que ella dice, que antes en las escuelas tenían bandas, tenían orquesta, estudiaban música realmente, y una de las diferencias que vio muy grande, ella tuvo la oportunidad de ir a Suecia, de viajar por Suecia, y ahí realmente todavía, que es lo que venimos diciendo hace bastante, en Suecia todavía mantienen eso, bueno, porque tienen una industria musical súper grande, y aparte ella tuvo la posibilidad...
Vivo en México.
Sí, tuvo la posibilidad de vivir en México, también pasar un tiempo en México, y la gente naturalmente, o sea, toca la guitarra, agarra una guitarra, aunque sea barato, dijo ella, y toca. Lo que ella estaba contando, por ejemplo, que tenés lugares como Juilliard, por ejemplo, en donde sí se estudia música verdaderamente, pero salvo que consigas una scholarship, dijo ella, una beca, el nivel de música pública, o sea, está descendiendo un montón. It's really interesting when you're saying, I completely agree agree with that. Thanks for that.
and it's so important, music for kids, for world peace, for everything. Music is such it brings people together, and it teaches you about math, it teaches you, the spirit. Some people here play in their churches, but it's not, religion is not the same as it was, but there's a lot of that. And in the southern parts of the United States, it's more prevalent, that people grow up and sing in church. I sang in a church choir. I love to sing, but where do I, it's different now. It's very different for kids. I mean, I have a son, a grown son, and he hardly had any music education. Sports.
Sí, no,
Sports.
And it's important to meet people. La última pregunta, Manu, que es una duda. This is a personal question. What do you think that is the traditional music in New York?
The traditional music?
Sí.
Well, our music that really originated here was jazz, like 1950s, bebop and jazz, that kind of, with the abstract art and the jazz movement in the 40s and 50s, all the artists and the musicians hanging together. That was like a very New York thing. I mean, hip-hop, traditional hip-hop maybe originated here. I don't know. There's a lot of roots of R&B. Blues is prevalent here, but that's not where it started, but the New York, I think music was jazz, Miles Davis, Gil Evans, even Coltrane, all those people were here, and really creating something. But since then, I mean, there was the part of the punk movement that I was part of too, like at CBGB's, the Ramones. There was a New York sound, television, and even like Patti Smith, Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground. That was kind of in here that had a lot of creativity, but that was kind of a international movement too. We got a lot from England, they got from us. So it's different, but I would say the quintessential New York thing was like the jazz, and then the very early hip hop, Grandmaster Flash, that kind of thing. Those people were creating something. Now it's less. I don't get any scene in New York. It's scattered.
Sí. Beautiful. What they are saying, I completely agree. Y una cosa muy importante, Manu, que tienen como música tradicional de Estados Unidos es jazz. Listo, que era un punto que me faltaba conocer, y aparte lo explicó súper claro. En los 40, en los 50, el bebop, el jazz, y aparte ella junta mucho la música con lo creativo. O sea, va de la mano todo el tiempo lo creativo, lo que dice que hay una falta de creatividad por el jazz y por todo esto de la educación, que es muy importante. Estoy completamente de acuerdo con todo lo que dijo. Amy, you can, if I speak some mistakes, you can correct me. In 1989, you released your first 4 songs. Is that okay?
Right.
It's called Minor Disturbances. How was the recording process, and why did you decide to make a solo career, music career?
Well, I moved to England, and one of the NME journalists, I was playing in a kind of a goth band, and I was signed to GWR Records, which was like Motorhead. It was kind of a very like heavy rock and roll scene. And he said to me, "This band is terrible, but you're great. What do you do?" And I make a little tape there with just playing bass and singing songs, because I was always writing songs. And he said, "These are great." But then I got pregnant, so they only wanted to release an EP, I got a big record deal from them, but long story. But I came back here, and I worked with John Gordon, who had just produced and played with Suzanne Vega, and we went in his place, and we just made a record in like 2 days. And I played, John played, with these 4 songs. It's very 80s sounding music. It's like Hotel Ruin, which kind of got on the charts a little bit in England. It sounded very much like Suzanne Vega, Luca, that sound. But we did the record here, and John just passed away. There was a memorial last week. It's very sad. He was an amazing guitar player. He worked with Madonna and Suzanne back then, and he was a big part of my life. Also, Charlie Giordano played accordion on it, who's been in Springsteen's band for a long time. He was working with Pat Benatar back then. So I did these, John picked 4 songs and we just did them, and that was my EP. And then I got a big record deal, but I had a baby, I was alone, I moved back to the United States, and I didn't know how I was going to tour, so I just kept on continuing in New York City. But yeah, that was my first
Beautiful story, beautiful story. Bueno, nos estaba contando en 1989 ella lanzó su primer EP con 4 canciones que se llama Minor Disturbances, y tuvo la oportunidad de producirlo con John Gordon, que trabajó también con Susan Vega, con Madonna, con un montón de personajes, porque ella estaba en el Reino Unido tocando con unas bandas, y también tuvo la oportunidad de estar en un sello, y la gente del sello le decía, mira, esta banda es horrible, pero vos tocas muy bien. Así que bueno, la agarró John Gordon y empezaron a tocar. Manu, si le pregunto por Billy Joel y todo esto que nos está contando, a ver si hay diferencias o no. No, por ahora no. Bueno, después le pregunto. Perfecto, sí. Please, in 2024 you released your last album, Harlem Demos. Sí, ahí está. You changed many things in the recording process. Can you tell us the differences between your first and your last album, the recording process and the project in general?
Right. Well, probably in the middle was that Discarded Angels, which I really like, but it's very expensive to record here, so I just usually wait for someone to help me with the project or offer. But Harlem Demos, during the pandemic, I walked up to Harlem to an apartment where a guitar player I know lived, and I would just play a song every week, just a new song for him, and he recorded it, and then he took the songs and made all this music. I didn't have any part, I just wrote the song, and then he put the music on it, but he wanted me to release it as an album, so I did. I mean, I love the songs. It's different. The production is very different. But, I like the songs, and those were all written, on the spot.
Beautiful, increíble, sí. Bueno, nos estaba contando que en 2024 ella lanzó su último álbum que se llama Harlem Demons, y la diferencia, ¿no?, entre el primero, las primeras grabaciones y las últimas, es que ella aparte dio una cosa que dice Manu, que es carísimo grabar en Nueva York, y bueno, ella lo que hizo durante el COVID fue ir a la casa de un amigo y tocar todo el tiempo canciones que ella tenía, y bueno, fueron eligiendo, y así fue como nació este último disco durante el COVID. ¿Alguna pregunta, Manu?
No, sigamos, porque quiero seguir hablando un poco sobre ella, y después, si querés, hablamos un poco más. Sí. Abrimos el juego.
I have to make the questions. Amy, do you have any composition process?
Claro.
Very intuitive. They come. I hear songs, and if I pick up now I use a 12-string open tuning guitar all the time. I play blues sort of, and I've been using that. It just, I don't know, I just start playing, and the music and the lyrics come soon. I'm about to publish a book of just song lyrics, which is weird. It's going to be about 100 of my songs that I would play if I did a solo gig. But I don't know, I thought my father's brother was deaf. He had no hearing. Ooh. And I thought about how he would have to just see the lyrics and think about the music, imagine. So I don't know, it's crazy to do a book of just lyrics with no music, but they all have music. Anyway, but lyrics are important to me, because lyrics aren't important enough, I think, in contemporary, like in pop music and rock and roll. It's not the same, I really think lyrics are important.
Sí. Do you know Spinetta from Argentina? Luis Alberto Spinetta?
No, I don't think so. It's like we hear so little, international music, or I don't listen to international radio enough. I should. I used to get all these CDs, in the mail, or these platforms so I could hear new music, because I love to hear new music, and I don't hear enough, you know, because what you hear is so dictated by social media, and it's toxic, you know.
Excellent.
It's just terrible.
We
and you go out in New York now, it's mostly, it's tribute bands, cover bands, because that's what makes money for people. You know, tourists come here, they want to hear, you know, old classic rock or, you know, sometimes R&B. It's very hard to do original music now.
Sí. I name Spinetta because, you know, Spinetta has some lyrics that they are almost poems. So you can check, maybe you can check him and
I will. I'm going to make a note of that.
They are incredible.
It's very important, I think. And, you know, there have been some great lyricists. I mean, like Leonard Cohen or, you know, even occasionally Lou Reed. From way back, you know, people, I grew up, the other very New York thing, I grew up seeing people like Tim Hardin, you know, downtown in Greenwich Village, and they sang, and Phil Oakes, you know, the old folkies. I was like a child and I could see them, and they influenced me. What they had to say was really important too. Even Jimi Hendrix's poetry, you know, it's poetic. It's maybe drug fueled, but it's poetry, you know.
Of course.
But I don't hear this so much anymore.
Exactly.
You know, Bob Dylan maybe, you know, but not, it's not the same. Passion.
Totally. Sí, totally.
Muy bueno.
Sí, sí.
Muy bueno. Bueno, no, si no tenemos preguntas sobre ella. There's something I always want to ask with someone from New York, you know? And I've always felt that the punk scenes completely broke with that whole era of progressive band, jazz fusion, and music of experimentation, you know?
Right.
And instead give birth to this do-it-yourself attitude that actually encouraged people who didn't really know music to start making music anyway. Do you think that since punk scenes came along, music has gradually become simpler and more commercial?
Yes, because it's like we always say, there used to be Guitar Magazine, guitar player. We call it now guitar owner. The proliferation of instruments, like, and the marketing of that, and you know, and also lots of people my age grew up, they want their kids to play classic rock, they give them everything, and they don't create. The punk scene was really important, and it was artistic at first. Then there was that new wave, you know, that Talking Heads came out of, and people didn't play their instruments so well. Although, I mean, like Tina, they all can play, but, you know, they kind of learned to play. But yes, it's absolutely true. And there was this huge scene in the 70s of these fusion bands, and people like the Brecker brothers playing very progressive music, brilliant musicians, and then this other scene of people who could hardly play. And now, yes, I see a lot of people who can hardly play. You know, they think they can make a band, and if they get, you know, 1 million Instagram followers, they will get hired, you know, because it's become sort of commercial, you know, and New York is very, very expensive, and artists can't afford to come here. When I came here, I paid $50 for an apartment. Ooh. You can't do that, and we lived with painters. Now it's all this money, and then there's poor people, and it's sad. It's like the culture in New York has suffered. I think the music scene, it's too expensive for true artists, I think. It's, you know, very difficult.
Beautiful.
I think that listening to more commercial music, simplified music, can actually make audience less curious, you know,
right,
less intelligent.
Right. I mean, there were bands like television. The first, you know, in 1975, I could go to any club and see, and I know I would see something that was creative and interesting. but not anymore. I don't find that. And then there's a lot of nostalgia for old times, and people come to New York, and even people from Sweden, they say, oh, take us on a tour. We want to see where Bob Dylan. I don't, there's so much nostalgia, and then young bands try and just imitate or recreate, but they're not creating it. They're not good. There's no passion. It's like they just want to copy things. And it's so easy to learn music on the internet. We had to go watch concerts and buy a record somewhere. Like Keith Richards always talks about how he had to go to Chicago and go to these record stores and find the records. It's so different. And I don't know. I got to play with John Lee Hooker at a certain point, and he couldn't read or write, but I mean the music, it's extraordinary, and it was so real. It was so, he was born with that, Oof. This is like the only really satisfying thing I did in New York was play blues. I was part of the house band at B.B. King's for 23 years until the club closed. It was unsustainable though. These places, they paid like $250,000 in rent every month. Terrible. They could not stay. Mm-hmm. Or they sell out. They have to have Taylor Swift or whatever. Very hard. Very hard.
Excellent.
It's very hard.
I love the blues. I have the luck to see B.B. King and Buddy Guy and Shawn Mayer, Magic Slim.
Yes.
I remember he makes a solo with one note.
Oh, it's a John Lee Hooker. I mean, so there was one gig we did, and I said, something, I think we stayed on the E chord the whole night. And he looks at me, he says, Amy, I don't like to make no changes if I don't has to. This is what he said.
Incredible.
He was but it was awesome. I could have played for 6 hours, on one chord. It's just amazing. When it's awesome. Real, it's just real, It's
beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Todo tuyo, Raulo.
I think that the way that people think in time, it's completely different now, and the way
completely different.
They want all things quick, and they don't appreciate when you search for something. I want to know something, because you are a bass player. I'm a bass player too. How do you feel about the tone and you search for any sound? You think about all the things, or you came with your sound and this is my sound? How do you feel about that?
I think it's your fingers, because John Gordon had this recording studio, and he said, I want one of your guitars, one of your basses, because your bass records better than anything. And then he had the bass there, and another guitar player, he said, no, it's the way your fingers are. I had an endorsement from Guild in 1982 or 83. They gave me a pilot bass, and I always used it. I have a couple of basses, but I just turn the knobs open, and I love it. I don't think that, I'm not like a very fussy player. I just play. But it always sounded really good, that bass. I don't know. It's like, at the time it was like a new bass. I still have an old Fender, Precision from the 60s. But I love the way it sounds. I love the way it records at the Guild. It's so easy. And all the studios, when I go in, they go, oh, that bass sounds amazing. So it's good.
Perfect.
I love the bass. Yeah, I love, you know what it's like. It's the best.
Of course, it's for me.
But it's the best, but you have to have the best drummer and the best band. And it's not so easy, right?
Exactly. See, it's beautiful to speak with you. We are going to meet you again if we can in some future, because we think that you can meet some people and we can talk about music hours. Amy, thanks for your time. We are going to make 2 more questions and then we keep in touch, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, can you tell us something about your future plans?
My future plans, I would like to make another record. I wrote a lot of songs about, I was playing with Alan Merrill, the guy who wrote I Love Rock and Roll, and he died during COVID. And he was just like such a good friend. And I was so sad. I wrote a whole series of, grieving songs. I would like to record those. I'm very bad at technology, and I have this really old computer at home. It just doesn't, I don't know. I have to go into a studio. And since John Gordon was sick and died, I lost my recording partner. So I would like to, I do these poetry books for Belpid, for the label. I have another poetry book coming, and this book of lyrics, which will come in maybe 2 or 3 months. It's all done. I just have to do all the layout myself because they're Swedish. So it's that, I'm doing that. I'm still writing songs. I play in 1 or 2 bands here, not so much anymore, because I can't find a band that I really like. Not so many solo gigs. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. So, but the future is bright. I'm still writing. I'm still, I write a blog also, about New York, about it. I've been writing it for 18 years. I write 2 essays a month. It's all, I have a AMY MADDEN music page that someone made for me, all these links on it. So I'm going to continue for sure. And I wish, the old guitar players I love here, they don't want to play anymore. They're fed up with the scene. But, like a guitar player from Memphis came about a month ago, and I played with him in Harlem, just got together. And it was so good, just a real musician. But I don't know. Anyway. Beautiful. I'm still here.
Yes, that's the important thing. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm still here. I'm glad to be old because I remember I grew up in that wonderful musical time. So
yeah,
it's happened.
It was better.
The same to me. The same to me. I'm over 40, so it's everything okay. Thank you very much for your time, Amy. It's beautiful to speak with you. We are going to keep in touch, and we are going to send you see the interview and all that things. And thanks for the people in Belpid Records. They are lovely people, and we are really happy to meet you. Thank you very much. We are going to play now the song Black Bells.
Oh, great.
So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Amy.
Thank you.
Let it dry, let it lie, let it turn, let it burn, let it stain, let it swallow your name. Put on your lace and your tears, put on your makeup. Raise a glass to the night and the years. I'm gonna take you there. My bed is shaking like a leaf in a hurricane wind, chandeliers swinging. I got nothing to offer and nothing to